It was a quiet night in Maplewood Estates, the kind of suburban silence where even the crickets seemed to rest. Mark Thompson leaned on his porch railing, sipping coffee though it was nearly midnight. His eyes wandered, as always, to his pride and joy, the garden. Rows of tulips, daffodils, lilies, and his prize-winning roses shimmered under the porch light. Before we start, don't forget to like this video. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more unbelievable stories. Also, drop a comment and let me know what kind of stories you enjoy the most. You might just see your favorite next. For Mark, gardening wasn't just a hobby, it was therapy. Art and pride all rolled into one. But that night, something felt off. A sound broke the silence. A faint crunch of footsteps on gravel. Mark squinted, setting his mug down. At first, he thought it was a raccoon or a stray cat. But then he saw her, Linda Pearson, the self-appointed queen of the Homeowners Association. Linda was in her late 40s, always dressed as if she were headed to a business meeting. Oversized sunglasses even at dusk, and an expression that screamed superiority complex. Neighbors called her Karen Linda behind her back. She had fined people for leaving trash cans visible, ordered families to repaint fences over minor scratches, and even threatened one man over his Christmas lights being too bright. And now, there she was, standing in Mark's yard, inside his fence, clutching a pair of silver garden shears. Mark froze in disbelief. She's not. No way, but she was. Linda bent down and began clipping his roses, muttering under her breath. Against HOA guidelines. Overgrown. Unsightly weeds. Each snip was sharp, vicious, almost gleeful. Mark's blood boiled. His roses, the ones he had nurtured through storms, pests, and droughts, were being destroyed in front of him. He wanted to storm out, but something stopped him. Instead, he pulled out his phone and hit record. Through the screen, he zoomed in on her. Linda wasn't just trimming. She was yanking entire stems, stomping on delicate plants, leaving destruction in her wake. And then, as if mocking him, she smirked, wiped her hands, and walked away into the shadows of her own yard. Mark's hands trembled with rage, but when he looked at the recording, a grim smile tugged at his lips. He finally had proof. By morning, the garden looked like a battlefield. Neighbors slowed down, gasping at the wreckage. "Mark, what on earth happened?" asked Mrs. Ellis, an elderly widow with a tiny poodle. "Linda happened," Mark replied through gritted teeth. By noon, the footage had spread across Maplewood Estates. Every neighbor who had suffered Linda's wrath watched it with satisfaction. The HOA tyrant had finally been caught red-handed, but Linda wasn't the type to go down quietly. At the emergency HOA meeting she called that evening, Linda strutted in with her usual smugness. "These recordings are fake," she declared. "AI-generated nonsense. Mark has been violating HOA guidelines with that. Jungle, he calls a garden. I was simply inspecting it for compliance." The room buzzed with whispers. Mark stood, calm and collected, and played the video on a projector. Gasps echoed through the hall. Linda's face filled the screen. Her sunglasses, her smirk, her shears, her voice muttering about unsightly weeds. For the first time, Linda looked rattled. This is out of context," she stammered. "I was protecting property values." But neighbors weren't buying it. One by one, people began standing up. "You fined me $200 for leaving my kid's bike outside overnight. You threatened me over a bird feeder. You tried to ban my service dog from the community pool." The stories poured out, each one fueling the fire. Linda's empire of control was crumbling. Over the next few days, Linda grew desperate. She doubled down, marching across lawns, snapping photos of violations, leaving nasty notes. But instead of fear, she was met with cameras. Every time she opened her mouth, someone was recording. Then came the breaking point. Late one afternoon, Mark returned home to find Linda in his yard again, this time with 2 HOA board members in tow. She was pointing at his rebuilt rose bushes, loudly declaring them illegal plants. "That's it," Mark said, stepping out with his phone. "You're trespassing again," Linda spun around. "This is official HOA business. You don't have permission to—" The flashing blue lights cut her off. 2 police cruisers pulled up. Someone, likely one of the fed-up neighbors, had already called. Officers stepped out, stern-faced. Mark showed them the video footage not just from that night but weeks of Linda's harassment. The officers turned to her. "Ma'am, this is private property. You're trespassing, and you've caused property damage. You'll need to come with us." Linda's face drained of color. "What? No. I am the HOA. You can't do this to me. I was protecting the neighborhood." The officers weren't moved. As they gently but firmly escorted her to the cruiser, phones lit up all around. Neighbors recorded gleefully, some even clapping. "Smile, Linda," one man shouted. "You're finally famous." Her protests echoed down the street. "This is harassment. I'll sue all of you. I'm the victim." But the only thing louder was the laughter of the very people she had tormented. In the weeks that followed, peace returned to Maplewood Estates. The HOA board voted unanimously to remove Linda from her position. She was fined heavily, banned from attending meetings, and ordered to pay restitution for the damages she had caused. Mark rebuilt his garden, each new bloom a symbol of victory. This time, neighbors pitched in, bringing plants, helping with soil, even installing a new security system with cameras that covered every angle. The garden became more than just Mark's pride. It became a symbol of unity, and Linda, well, she kept her blinds drawn and rarely stepped outside. When she did, whispers followed her. The woman who once controlled everyone's lives was now the neighborhood's cautionary tale. For Mark, the sweet scent of roses never smelled so much like justice. That is the story. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Tell me in the comments below. I read them all. And before you go, make sure to like the video and hit subscribe button.